The newest Halloween champions of Raid Shadow Legends are as exciting and thrilling as the game itself. Each one of these has distinct duties, elemental types, and affiliations with various groups. But that's just not it. There's so much more to know about the latest Halloween champions. And players are always anxious to test out fresh mechanics being introduced alongside new heroes, which are being released at a constant pace. So in this video today, we're going to look at some of the newest Halloween champs released by Plarium in Raid Shadow Legends. These are the champs that you'd surely want on your team the next time, so without wasting any time, let's check out all of those latest Halloween champs. So the very first champion, or you could say the character that has been added in this patch, is Timid the Fool. Timid is a fragment collector fusion, which means that compared to a traditional fusion, we will be collecting fragments by completing fusion events and tournaments. With the help of this, we don't need to collect any other champions to fuse Timid the Fool. You can call Timid once you've completed enough events/tournaments to acquire 100 fragments. One of the best aspects about fragment collectors is that there is no time limit on summoning your Timid, with him remaining in the fragment gateway for as long as you wish, allowing you to save his points for a future champion chase tournament or clan versus clan event for points. Now as for its skills, there's a lot to explore. The very first thing you'll notice in this champion is its carnival hammer, but this hammer is not like any usual hammer that you use. This hammer is capable of attacking one enemy twice, and each hit heals this champion by 10% of their max HP. If the target does not have present buffs, each hit adds 10% to this champion's turn meter. You can also test your strength with it, which is another skill on the hammer. With this particular skill, a player is capable of attacking all the enemies. It can also decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns. If there are no adversaries with current buffs, an extra turn is granted. Even if there are foes with active boosts, Kaja the Rye always grants an extra turn if she is on the same team. Kegs of Dread is another distinct ability of this champion, with the help of which you can attack all enemies. It also places a 50% increase accuracy bonus on all allies for 2 turns before attacking. For 1 turn, it applies the True Fear debuff to all opponents. And it's not just that, but Timid's turn meter is filled by 10% whenever an enemy skill successfully activates while they are under the Fear or True Fear debuff. When an opponent's skill fails to activate because they are under a Fear or True Fear debuff, a Provoke debuff is applied to that enemy for 1 round. This effect is only active when Kaja the Rye is on the same team as you. This is another newly added champion in the game with a lot of thrilling skills. Firstly, in its base form, it can attack one adversary twice. Every hit has a 50% chance of lengthening the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn by using its Sword Spear Slash skill. It is also capable of placing a 50% decreased resist buff and a block buffs debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. It also decreases each target's turn meter by 20%. This is called the Doom Lantern cooldown. By using its Metamorph passive cooldown skill, you can transform this champion into an alternate form. Not only can you change it into another form, but you also get an extra turn for that. The Shadow Vigil passive skill can be used to become impervious to stun debuffs. By utilizing this skill, the champion's accuracy is increased by 1 for every 2 resist they have. Another great champion that has become a part of the game is Kaja the Rye. With the help of this particular champion, you can take your game to a whole new level. The very skill it has is called the Firecracker. With the help of this skill, you can attack an enemy at a time. This champion is healed for 10% of their max HP. If there are any Timids on the same team, this heals them all by the same amount. It can also revive all dead allies with 50% HP and 50% turn meter, and a 30% increased crit rate and 30% increased crit damage bonus is applied to them for 2 turns. If Timid the Fool is on the same team and is dead, he will be revived with full HP and a full turn meter. If Timid the Fool is on the same team and alive, the cooldown is reset and their Kegs of Dread skill is instantly activated. This is called Back with a Bang. Apart from all of these, it has some other skills as well that need to be mentioned here. One of the other skills that it has is known as Dynamic Duo. When this is used against this champion, all turn meter reduction effects are reduced by 50%. This champion is immune to turn meter reduction effects if Timid the Fool is on the same team. When an enemy attempts to reduce the champion's turn meter when Timid the Fool is on the same team, this champion's turn meter gets filled by the same amount instead. Another skill is called Royal Flush that fills all allies' turn meters by 20%. It also removes 2 random debuffs from each ally as well. It removes all debuffs from all allies if Timid the Fool is on the same team. Then, for 1 round, it applies a block debuff buff to all allies. Sounds pretty cool, right? But we still got more. This particular champion from Void Affinity is also full of great skills that can definitely level up your game. First of all, it utilizes a Fumax that can attack one enemy and has a 30% chance of reducing the cooldown of a random skill of the ally with the largest turn meter, excluding this champion, by 1 turn. It can also revive all dead allies with 50% HP and 50% turn meter, and all revived allies receive a shield bonus for 2 turns, equivalent to 20% of this champion's max HP. This particular skill is known as Mercy of Oasis. By using its Slayer's Roar, you can attack all enemies. For 2 turns, friends receive a 50% increase to attack and a 60% increase to defense bonus. Additionally, allies are healed by 20% of this champion's max HP. As its name indicates, the champion looks identical to a crocodile, but does it have the same attacking skills like an actual crocodile? Let's find out. First of all, whenever this champion is in attacking mode, it can reduce the target's attack or defense by 5%, as well as accuracy or resistance by 5%. Based on which stat is higher and stacks it up to 30%. This is called Voracious Hunger. Another cool skill that this champion has is called Gnashing Bog, with the help of which you can attack all of your enemies. For 2 rounds, this champion receives a shield bonus equal to 20% of the damage dealt. This champion is also healed by 10% of their max HP for each critical hit. And not just that, but with its Apex Predator skill, it is capable of placing a 30% increased crit rate buff and a 30% increased crit damage buff on all allies for 3 turns, then grants an extra turn. This champion can also bring your game to a whole nother level if it's used wisely. By using its Spinal Surge technique, all enemies can be attacked. If 3 or fewer foes are alive, there is a 75% chance that a block buff's debuff will be placed on each enemy for 2 turns. If 4 or more foes are alive, there is a 75% chance that a block buff's debuff will be placed on each enemy for 3 turns. With that, the champion can also utilize its Skeletal Mirror. When an enemy tries to apply a debuff to this champion, it has a 20% chance of reflecting it back on the attacker by using this skill. And there you have it, guys. Raid Shadow Legends' newest Halloween champs. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on this. If you enjoyed watching this video, then hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.